Hey, Vsauce, Leonard here. I'm back from my long vacation from making videos, and yeah, I'm starting again, and I might make one every week. We don't know, only if I want to. I make these videos just kind of for fun, just like if I'm bored, I just talk about what I'm interested at in the in the moment. So, you probably read the title, so let's get on with the video. Now, this video is political and geopolitical. You know, it's not if you're not really strongly politically active, this might actually help you understand a little bit, but um, it's your choice. So, why is China not a leftist society? There are many reasons. They call themselves the Communist Chinese Party, or the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, which is the main party of the country and really the only party of the country. This basically just makes it an authoritarian state, which we can all admit it being. Even a fascist could say that China is authoritarian, but they would say that it's good for it, even though it's not. But I am a leftist myself, and I am a libertarian socialist. Is my political compass, and here is also my 8 values results. So yeah, I'm talking in a leftist point of view. So we can all say that China does call itself communist and socialist, but does that actually mean that it is communist and socialist? We all know that North Korea calls itself the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, but it's not democratic, it's not a republic, and it's not the people. It's the same with China, the People's Republic of China. So we can see how titles of countries and how they call themselves can be quite misleading. But usually it does come from an origin. Most authoritarian countries call themselves democratic just to get better reputation. So because it's not like a country is gonna call itself the dictatorship of Korea, like that would make no country would do that, but it is it is a dictatorship. But we're not talking about North Korea. North Korea uses a juche system, which is different from China's system. China used to use Maoism, but it has tilted to the right over the years through markets and stuff like that. Now, most people on the right would say that that's a good thing, but life inequality in China has improved, but not really because it's been tilting to the right. That doesn't have much to do with it. So, we established that China calls itself a communist socialist system, and it used to be something similar to that, Maoism, which was culturally quite left, quite progressive, and also economically quite left, though authoritarian and nationalistic. So a typical communist system, as how Americans would say it. But is it actually like that? Is it still like that? Well, we can say that because of China's policies and equality and stuff like that, we could say that China is probably, you could say that it is economically left, but quite culturally right. Let me explain. For a good political system, there will need to be at least 3 axes. Not 2 like the political compass, and definitely not 1 like the political, what is it called? The political line, I don't know what it's, I don't remember what it's called, I forget. But we can imagine a 3D political compass as having backwards and forwards as progressive and traditional. More forwards you are, more progressive you are, and more back you are, more traditional you are, aka culturally right, culturally left. If you're culturally left, you're more progressive. If you're culturally right, you're more traditional. Then there's the right and the left. Of course, in the system, in the compass, the right would represent the right in the political system, and the left would also represent the left. We can also have higher you go, the more authoritarian this ideology is. The lower you go, the more libertarian and more democratic it is. China, I would say, is definitely authoritarian. So if we have a political compass, or a 3D political compass, or an 8 values quiz, we can have it as in the authoritarian part. Now, in the nationalist and world thing of the 8 values quiz, which I'm showing here, it's not so useful because it just says if a nation, if the system is more for a nation or for the world. But very few ideologies just identify with nation, but are anarchist, or very few ideologies are worldly, but are very authoritarian. Very few. For example, an ideology with it, like this would be anarcho-fascism. But yeah, there's only very few mainstream ideologies um, that follow these rules, but like very few ideologies. There's a lot of ideologies that use the right, left, authoritarian, libertarian, but then there's a lot of ideologies that you can distinguish with culturally right and culturally left. The more axes you put on a political compass, the more detailed it is. But there is a limit, because a political compass is not designed to see your opinion on everything, because that would just be looking at your test results, just looking at the answers that you post on the questions. A political compass is just supposed to put you in a general area. So, knowing this, with a culturally right and culturally left, we know that the Nazbol and ideologies like that can be represented. So stuff like that, and we can also see that China is quite traditional, and they used to be more progressive, but now has tilted more traditional, as doesn't really have many rights, LGBT, and it's quite unequal for the people and stuff like that. It's not really friendly to immigrants. It's hard to get a Chinese citizenship. Effectively, making it quite traditional and culturally right, making it backwards, like in the 3D political compass. So it's authoritarian and backwards. Now here we're in the third axis, which is quite difficult. Is it on the right, economically, or the left? We can see how China used to be on the left. Maoism was quite a left-leaning system, but over the years it has tilted to the right. It's the reason why China's economy is growing, and it's the reason why China is a problem. But is this really the thing? Well, yes. China it has very few things that are very few things that have to do with money that are controlled by the government anymore. Most stuff that's controlled by the government is just the people or other stuff like that, like internet and stuff like that. Just general, more controlling the people than the money. Why is this different than being left or right? Because being left doesn't mean that you want the people to be controlled. You just want the money to be controlled, to make sure that the people are okay, that the people are safe, that they have the money that they need, and they have the necessities that they need. Same with authoritarianism. It just wants people to be safe. It's usually the excuse for authoritarianism, but it's usually not the reason why it exists. And it just wants people to be safer, basically, but that's not really why it exists. And it just controls the people over the money. So here, this China definitely controls the people, but not the money anymore. China doesn't even have free healthcare. Are you saying that the country that doesn't have free healthcare is a leftist society? Because even countries like let's say most European countries, not America, but like most European countries that are kind of centrist, maybe centrist, right-leaning, they have free healthcare and they're right-leaning. So we can see how China would definitely be right-leaning, at least, because they don't have a free healthcare and stuff like that. So we can just put China on the authoritarian, high authoritarian, culturally right, and economically right-leaning. So that's why China is not a leftist society. This was a very long video. It's gonna take a lot of time to upload. So yeah, bye guys.